Hello curious people, welcome to Jainism, the ancient science. I am Manisha Gala from India and today I am going to talk about greed or lobe, the fourth negative emotion. What is greed? Greed is nothing but the feeling of dissatisfaction. I want more. Greed is also clinging on to something, not letting it go. That is also greed. Like other negative emotions, Jainism has divided greed into four categories: Anantanubandhi, Apachkani, Pachkana Varniya, and Sanjvalan. In English, we may say extreme, intense, moderate, and mild. So, what is Anantanubandhi greed? I would like to explain this with an example, the example of Mamman Seth. This happened in the era of Lord Mahavir Swami. King Shravak ruled Magadh, and this Mamman Seth lived in Magadh. Once it was a stormy night and King Shravak was standing in his balcony and looking at the city. He saw that streets were empty and people were confined in their houses, but at a distance, at the bank of the river, he saw one man pulling logs. The logs that were drifting in the river. King Shravak wondered how poor he must be, that even in such a stormy night when everyone prefers to stay back home, he is working. Out of curiosity and out of concern, he decided to go there and talk to that man. So King Shravak went to the bank of the river and called out to that man, what are you doing at this hour, at this wee hour? So that man said, I'm collecting logs, don't you see, don't disturb me in my work. For what? That man said, I have one bull, but I am now I am gathering money for another bull. So Shravak thought, this must be very poor farmer. Let me offer him some help. He said, okay, you go home, I will give you some money to buy another bull. He said, no, it's some special kind of bull and you can't help me out in that. Shravak again got curious, what kind of a bull was that? Then that man who was Mamman Seth, he said, if you will have to see it to believe it, why don't you come to my house tomorrow and have a look at it? Shravak agreed. So the next day, King Shravak went to Mamman Seth's house. Mamman Seth took him to the room where the bulls were kept. Mamman Seth opened the room. Shravak was surprised to see two life-size bulls made of solid gold, and they had horns studded with precious gems. So out of the two bulls, one bull was complete, but the other bull's one horn was incomplete. Mamman Seth had yet to put some gemstones in that horn, and that is why he was collecting money. All of us know that we are not going to take anything from here to another world, but still we keep collecting many things, money or property or whatever. So even Mamman Seth, he was also working hard to complete that gold bull whose horns were studded with precious gems. And he, all the time he was thinking about it, and all the time he was working to finish that showpiece. That level of greed he had. So that is Anantanubandhi lobe, and such traits, they follow you birth after birth after birth. It is very difficult to get rid of that kind of a greed. Jainism compares it with a stain of a permanent color on white cloth. The cloth gets colored, even after burning, that color doesn't go, the ash also is of that color. So similarly, such greed doesn't leave the soul easily. Now the next is intense greed. A Pachkhani greed, what we call, who has that? So generally rulers, political leaders, wealthy people are seen to have this kind of greed, intense greed. History has witnessed many rulers who have invaded places, countries to increase their reign. Of course, Alexander also visited India with that intention only. Even in present times, we are seeing some political leaders, they are working in a way that the borders of their country gets broadened. When we talk about wealthy people, we know certain magazines like Forbes, they every year they publish the list of billionaires, a list of richest people in the world. I'm sure there will be some people who will feel poor if their rank goes down even by one or two numbers. So these are those people who are so greedy that they don't like their number going down. They will immediately start working towards again coming on the top. So that is intense type of greed. Jainism compares it with the mud in the gutters. It is difficult to clean, it is difficult to remove, it is very sticky, but yes, it gets clean after efforts. After that, it's moderate greed. People like you and me have moderate greed. Some people who have a hobby of collecting things, coin collection, stamp collection, data collection. Nowadays, data is also very important. So they collect data about everyone. So that is also a kind of greed, because all the time your focus is on collecting more. I want more, I want more. So that is a moderate kind of a greed. Jainism compares this moderate kind of greed with the stain of grease. It goes off, but after applying some chemicals. So we really need to consciously do some efforts to get rid of that kind of greed. And what is mild greed or Sanjayvalan lobe? That is seen in people who are very satisfied with their lives. I know some countries where people work only for 4 days because that is enough for them to survive for a week's time. Though they don't think about far-fetched future, they just are happy in present moment. They are happy with whatever they have. They really want to enjoy life. So that is very mild kind of greed. Jain scriptures have example of Puniya Shravak, whose Samayik was so pure that Lord Mahavir appreciated that kind of Samayik. And he also was very satisfied with life. He would earn only that much which is enough for him to survive for one day. He will not even think about the next day. Such people have a very mild greed. Jainism compares it with the stain of turmeric, haldi. You need a little bit strong soap to remove that stain. So mild greed is very easy to remove. Among all kinds of living beings, who has the most greed? Who are the most greedy beings? They are celestial beings or heavenly beings. They are very, very greedy. They are very, very possessive about their gems, their female counterparts, and they also love their recreation activities like their ponds, their gardens, everything like that. So what happens is, if a heavenly being is very much attached to any such thing, say for example a gemstone, then in the next birth he becomes a gemstone, a Prithvikai. If he likes his garden or his plants, then he may become a floral fragrant plant in that same garden. For example, if he likes some pond or lake, he may become water, a watery being in that pond. That is possible. Whatever you have attachment for, your soul gets towards that. Jain scriptures also have examples of, say, for example, a man, a wealthy man, he hides his gold coins or his wealth underground, and he dies without telling anybody. Then he becomes a snake in the next birth and lives near that treasure and tries to protect it. That snake doesn't know why he likes that treasure or why he tries to protect that, because it's the trait of the past birth. That greed of the past birth has surfaced now, and he would like to cling to it. He would not let anybody take it. He will preserve it. So that is the result of greed. So is it that only the wealthy people have greed? Only the powerful people have greed? No, even the poor people have greed. I will share one example of a beggar. Say one beggar gets 2 breads in a donation. He decides to eat one bread at night and then preserve another bread for morning use, for the breakfast. and he cannot sleep full night because he's scared that that piece of bread will be lost some way. He stays alert to protect that bread. That is nothing but greed. That poor man is also a greedy man. So greed can surface anytime, anywhere. It stays till a long time. That is why Jain monks are not allowed to preserve things. They are not allowed to keep food overnight, because what will happen is if they are allowed to keep food at night, someone will store it for one day, some may store it for 5 days, some may think, oh, maybe these are rainy days and we may not get food tomorrow, let's preserve it for more days. So this greed may increase, and to control, to exercise not to have greed, such rules are given for Jain monks. They are not even allowed to have their own properties. No Jain monk will have his own ashram, and if any such monk is having own ashram, then that is violation of scriptural rules. That is a hidden greed. See, human mind is unpredictable. What you show and what you actually think may be very different. I always say, don't look at the words, look at the actions, how a person is behaving. If you closely look, the words and the actions may differ. For common men, how to control greed? We can put some limits, or maybe we can let certain things go. I'm not telling to donate everything. We are common men. We have our future. We have to secure our future. We have responsibility. We have family. We have to take care of the family. So we need to preserve some wealth, some money, some home, some property for our future generations. But don't think so much for your third, fourth or fifth generation that I will collect so much money that they need not work. No, you are not even going to see that generation, and you don't know that generation, and you don't know how that generation is going to behave, whether they will get this wealth or no, because at the third or fourth generation level only all the wealth may get washed out, because you don't know who your third or fourth generation person will be. So we can control that greed that way. We women have a habit of cleaning things, cleaning house in Diwali, and many things we see, and then we feel okay, we'll use it tomorrow, maybe next time, and for years those things are pending, those things are stored in the house. So at that time we can think a little, and if that thing is not used for 2, 3, 4 years, then it's better to get rid of it, and whenever you need it you can buy a new one. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to give away everything. There are certain things which are rare, which are precious, they are relics, they are books, they go out of print, you would definitely like to preserve. But I am talking of the things of everyday use. I'm seeing women who have stored their dresses for 20-25 years. That doesn't make sense. That is a greed. So it's better to get rid of it and get a new one. Change things quickly. Or you can also set upper limits. Say for example, a lady would buy 50 dresses per year, then she can set a limit of not more than 500 dresses. Definitely she is not going to change a dress every day, or she is not going to throw away a dress every day. But still, putting a limit to a higher limit, a upper limit, also helps you to control your greed. You are limiting yourself somewhere. The same goes for even wealthy people. See, one person may be very rich, and his lifestyle is such that he needs X amount of money. Another person is from a lower strata or a middle class family. He needs only this much money to stay happy. So he might put upper limit of X amount. The other person may put a limit of Y amount. But still there is a limit, because universe has everything in abundance. If we see the wealth, the amount of gems and the things those heavenly beings have, you'll be surprised. Scriptures have written about all these things, how heavenly beings live a very luxurious life they have. We can't even imagine of that. So everything is in abundance, but by limiting your wish, you are taking control of your greed. We can introspect, observe our own behavior, where we are behaving greedy, to what we are attached so much that we don't want to let it go. Nobody can tell you, because I know whoever tells you anything, you will do whatever you like, and nobody knows what goes in your mind. You are your own guide, you are your own judge. You may take steps to control your negative emotions. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about liberation, because that is also very important. Why am I talking of so much of karma, or why am I concerned of so much of karma? Why I want to reduce my karmic load? The goal of Jainism is liberation, and what is liberation and what happens to soul after liberation, all those things I will talk in the next video. Till then, stay connected.